They were just too bloody good for this world. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 anime where the hero dies. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at the heroes in anime who bit the dust at one point or more during their respective series. Keep in mind, we'll be including both permadeath as well as times characters were brought back to life. Prepare for a lot of dead bodies and a lot of spoilers down the line.
Then who am I up here, I wonder? Could it mean I've turned into a ghost?
Number 10, Mobile Suit Gundam, IronBlooded Orphans. They were looking for a place to call their own, yet ended up dying on the battlefield like the child soldiers they were raised to be. After their alliance with McGillis falls through, Tekkadan find themselves once again in the crosshairs of Gjallerhorn forces, culminating in a final stand on Mars. Despite putting up a hell of a fight thanks to the untamed power of Barbatos Lupus Rex, Mikazuki's life gives out before the battle ends. Throw in the fact Orga got himself shot on the side of the street a few episodes earlier, and this particular entry in the Gundam mythos cemented itself as one of the most heartbreaking. Number 9, ReZero, starting life in another world. Whereas some characters only die once, Subaru managed to take spontaneous expiration and turn it into an art form. After finding himself trapped in a vast fantasy world, Subaru learns the hard way that every time he perishes, time rewinds itself back to the point of his arrival. Unfortunately for him, he dies a lot. Doesn't matter if it's being ripped apart by the beautiful Elsa, getting on the wrong side of Rem, or just letting the elements take hold of him, Subaru and death have a somewhat revolving door of a relationship. Number 8, Akame ga Kill. Being killed on the job sort of comes with the territory when you're an assassin, especially if your mission is to take down an empire. That being said, we didn't expect the majority of the Night Raid to meet their end by the time the series had drawn to a close. Sure, we're happy that Akame got to live to fight another day, but that doesn't take away the sting of seeing the rest of her allies fall to the sword. The fact that Tatsumi ended up meeting such a bitter end was the real kicker. You know what? Just read the manga. Number 7, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood. Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando's fates were always going to be intertwined. We just never expected it would result in Dio's severed head going on a rampage and turning JoJo's honeymoon cruise into a zombie ship. Despite getting his throat blasted open, Jonathan still manages to save his beloved Irina from harm, choosing instead to go down with the ship, while making peace with the man who has caused him so much pain. Such a huge sacrifice could only come from the ultimate gentleman. Number 6, Inuyashiki. Even before he was turned into an alien cyborg, this old man was nothing more than a big barrel of generosity, wanting nothing more than to reconnect with his family.
ミサイルを全弾撃ち尽くして攻撃した場合は同じ僕が自爆した場合
After being given the Terminator treatment, Inuyashiki does his darndest to save those from death with his extraordinary healing abilities, only to find himself having to give up everything when a meteor threatens the Earth.
やっぱりこれが運命なんだ
Teaming up with Nemesis Shishigami, the two self-destruct in a final desperate act to save their loved ones from annihilation. No matter whether he was man or machine, Inuyashiki had a heart of gold. Number 5, YuYu Hakusho. Getting run over by a car is never pleasant, but it's safe to say that without Yusuke Urameshi's first case of death, we wouldn't have had this much beloved classic of the shonen genre. After saving a kid from becoming roadkill, the young juvenile is swiftly led to the afterlife, where he suddenly finds himself given the task of serving as a spirit detective and is promptly returned to Earth so he can break a few demon skulls.
Monster meet spirit!
He also found himself dying once again at the hands of Sensei, but it was nothing a little demonic blood couldn't correct.
Trial of humanity. The defense rests.
Number 4, Devilman Crybaby. Better the devil you know, right?
私はサタンだ
Well, unfortunately for Akira, he didn't know his best friend all that well at all. Following on from Miki's murder and humankind's final descent into extinction, Akira discovers that Ryo is in fact Satan himself, who seems all too eager to set the earth ablaze before gearing up to fight God. Understandably pissed he'd been led on all this time, Akira launches one final apocalyptic assault against the forces of hell, only to be torn in half in the process. It's a shallow victory for Ryo, however, as all he can do is weep over the corpse of his friend while everything else gets nuked into nothingness. Number 3, Dragon Ball Z. Yes, the fact that dying in this series is more akin to a holiday abroad than a final destination does take some of the sharpness off when it comes to character deaths.
Kamikaze. No way to defend.
However, even with the presence of a wish-granting dragon looming, the times Goku and company did bite the dust still resonated with some stunning emotional poignancy. Taking a special beam cannon to the gut, teleporting Cell away to save the Earth, Krillin getting blown up by Frieza, Vegeta's sacrifice against Majin Buu, no one can deny that these moments still get you in the feels each and every time they appear on screen. Number 2, Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion R2. From the very beginning, Lelouch only had one mission: to destroy the Empire of Britannia and undo the horrors inflicted by his family.
Lelouch B. Britannia commands you. Obey me, subjects! Obey me, world!
To do so involved a lot of deception, plenty of killing, and the occasional dip into straight-up villain territory. Yet, he never lost sight of uniting the world. How did he accomplish such a feat, build himself up to be the worst tyrant in history, all before staging a public assassination? By orchestrating his own demise, Lelouch proved that in spite of all the mistakes he had made along the way, above all else, he remained dedicated to liberating those who his kin had wronged.
You can't leave me! You can't! Please open your eyes, Big Brother, please! Big Brother!
Number 1. Cowboy Bebop. While some may argue it's not for certain that Spike Spiegel kicked the bucket following his bloody skirmish with Vicious, the image of him whispering his final words before falling to the floor is so iconic, so drilled into the minds of anime fans, such a perfect swan song of the legendary bounty hunter, that you couldn't ask for a more perfect setup for a death scene if you tried.
Bang.
As such, we're very much in the Spike totally died camp. But what a glorious death it was. See ya, Space Cowboy.
Life is just a dream, you know, that's never ending.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.